in the journal Nature that's found the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is now twice the size of Texas, and it's getting worse pretty fast. Okay, so 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic. That adds up to about 88,000 tons of trash, and that takes up a humongous 600,000 square miles. So when you think about it, you probably wonder, how did it all get there? Well, the scientists that were involved in this study, they say that wind and ocean currents have guided all that garbage into this part of the Pacific. And the longer we wait to do something about it, the worse it will get for all the marine life out there. As the plastic breaks down into tiny pieces, basically what happens is fish and other animals could end up ingesting it. So unless there's some kind of action that's taken to clean it up, all this plastic could end up becoming a problem for decades or maybe even centuries to come.
Okay, you just seen the trash video I just posted on there. And you wonder why the Earth is pissed off. And, you know, we've just shit on our planet so much that what do we expect? But I also wanted to show you guys, if we're in the Milky Way, why is it that the dark rift is all around us? You know, it goes across the whole sky. And it's called the Milky Way. You see this? Milky Way brightness. See that? Why is it called the Milky Way if we're in the Milky Way? Because I tell you, it's the event horizon. We're inside the Milky Way, which in itself is a reciprocating precessional hyperboloid, meaning it's a magnetic field in itself, where everything is a fractal of it. Everything is a fractal of the ultimate Anu, or the first pervading thought, which is when Fohat digs holes in space, Anu appear. And in the Anu, matter is manifest. Okay? So everything is a toroidal, convergent, centripetal, divergent field. Everything. This is where the flat earth thing comes from, is because the line right here, this line you see, which is the Milky Way, you know, according to this, we're in the Milky Way. So why is it called the Milky Way? Also known as the Dark Rift. So, right now, our central sun is in Orion. For God created us in His image. Okay, I'm not saying that Orion is our God. I'm saying it is the place where the trapezium open star cluster is, where in 2012, NASA announced in November issue of Space.com, they announced there being an intermediate black hole there in the trapezium open star cluster. And there's so much information that points to the same thing throughout our ancient history, through all ancient cultures, and knowledge today. Okay, and you see this? Another thing I'd like to point out. This right here. Oh, I kind of messed it up. That's the Fibonacci spiral, folks. The golden spiral, the golden mean. Okay, and you see where it's at. It's lined up perfectly, going right here, and there's a prophecy from Buddha or some esoteric knowledge. I can't remember which one it is, from the Asians. I can't remember which one it is, but when the club of Orion meets the Dark Rift, which I call the event horizon, the point at which, see, a hyperboloid is an hourglass shape. And there's a convergent spiral. You know, it's a spiral. It's an infinity, pretty much. We're at this point. You understand what I mean? 13,000 years ago, we were at this point on this side. Now, 26,000 years, we're on this side. At both of these points, things happen. And it's no coincidence that's the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces. You know what I mean? No coincidence at all. Every 26,000 years, we go through this. Every 13,000 years, we're on the opposite side. So maybe the 13,000 years was the cataclysm. But that's why the sun is freaking out, folks. We are in the galactic cloud, or the denser field of the event horizon. Here, and I'll bring you to the trapezium open star cluster again. Now, the eye in the hand, or the eye in the triangle, the eye in the hand too, but, oh man, what happened? Oh, right here. But the eye in the triangle is right here, I'll show you. The same degree angle as the Great Pyramids, okay? Here's the triangle. Here's the eye. Alright, and it's also the fire in the middle. You know, pyramid means fire in the middle. That is the etymology of the word, pyramid. Fire in the middle. Okay? We go to the trapezium. We're in the trapezium. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Let me shut time down so it doesn't move. Okay, is it coincidence that it forms a cross and there's a black hole in the middle? So, the cross and the circle. Where have you seen that symbol before, folks? And is it another coincidence that all these dang stars, which are 5 in total, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then there's 2 here, which they just figured out. This one's a binary, the one on top. Okay? 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. It's binary code for a computer, folks. Okay, that's not the only thing. Check this out. Okay, we're going to go. It does not show you a distance to it. It doesn't show you a distance to it, folks. No distance. Everything else shows a distance. You hear me now? No distance. See that? No distance. It shows you a declination. It shows you the azimuth. It shows you the rise time. It shows you the set time. It shows you the set azimuth, but it does not show you a distance. Now watch. I'll back out. Click on Orion Nebula. Another, this shows distance. You see that? Shows the distance. But more importantly, look at these numbers. 66 point by 60. 666. Okay? Nothing is coincidence, folks. And 42 in the Emerald Tablets, the 40 and 2, in the Bible, the 4 and the 40 and 2 comes up, the 20 and 4. I mean, over and over. It's just, this is the eye in the triangle, the eye in the tent, the door, the eye of providence, you know, and the Fibonacci spiral, where that is our creation, and all of our creation, boom, ends right at that. That's the Barnard loop. This must be that's probably our physical binary star, Sirius. But I know the black hole sun, which is in Orion, is the conduit, the Christ conduit, to our wisdom. Sirius, let's look at this. Is there distance? 2.64 Planck constant. Nothing spectacular there jumps out at me. But the Dogons, they spoke of Sirius. But look at, and if you look at the NDS portal and you look at the Dark Rift, or what they label as, you know, the Milky Way. Aren't we in the Milky Way? You know, why are they calling something, the Dark Rift, the Milky Way? When in actuality, you look at it in the NDS Aladdin Light portal, anybody can go on the website, and these images weren't available before. You go on that portal, you go into that program, you look at it through the IRIS telescope, through the WISE telescope, and it's the brightest thing ever. We can't pick up the light with our vision, because we only see in a certain nanometer. With that, folks, give it thought. Meditate on it. Because this is what drives our reality. Right there. Right here, the Orion Nebula. Okay? And there's a prophecy that states when Orion's club is on the event horizon, the galactic crossing, the 26,000 years, the 25,920 year, great year, Baktun, the Earth goes through what it's going through. I mean, I think it depends on our consciousness, on our living planet, that determines what happens when we go through this. You know? Kind of weird that, you know, the Dark Rift goes all the way around us. It goes all the way around the planet. See? All the way around the planet. It's a circle, just like us. All the way around. Why, folks? Have you ever given thought to that? Why? Because we're inside of a black hole. This is the event horizon. This is the singularity. This is the reset. When we go in, we're in that hyperboloid, you know, the hourglass shape. You know, because if you look at a magnetosphere map, this is how our magnetic fields are. Right? And then the solar wind blows off a tail or whatever. But this is it. Just repeating over and over and over. Mother Nature, or the dynamics of our existence, is simplicity. Magnetism is everything. Resonance, frequency, and magnetism. Screw the crackpot, Einstein. Screw the relativity. Screw the particle bumper. Screw CERN. Screw all that shit. All is simple in nature. And it all is the repeating pattern of the golden spiral. The Fibonacci sequence. Everything is that. The precession, okay? Here's a straight line. Check this out. Straight line. The precession is this straight line going back and forth. Back and forth on both sides. So it's wobbling. Back and forth, you know, wobbling. So what does that turn into? Turns into this. And that's what a magnetic field is, over and over and over. Force in motion. Everything is magnetism. Force in motion, loss of inertia. Love, peace, chicken grease. Meditate on what I just told you. It's no coincidence that our Milky Way galaxy, that they call this the Milky Way, you know, the event horizon is what I'm calling it now, because it goes all the way around us. It's a complete circle around us, folks. Everything is a globe. Everything is well, not a globe, but the flat Earth theory comes from, because at that singularity point, of the hourglass, there's an accretion disk. You know, when we look top-down model, we see a disk, a flat plane in a 3D or a 2D. That's where the flat Earth thing comes from, because everything has an anu at its heart. We're all fractals of the anu. Our heart is the anu in us. Our molecules, our atoms, everything is an anu. It's a precessional, reciprocating precessional hyperboloid, the spirograph, the toroid. Love, peace, chicken grease. Love you all.